What have I learned? Through this process, I've learned that there is a thriving industry. It's evident from the studies that were done by the Emirates Publishing Association, that kids want more to read because they find the books that are being published boring a lot of the times. And I think this also extends into the United States. Parents don't always want, they don't always find the value in storybooks, but the value is often that they build a love for reading, which ultimately carries over into their studies. So there's a focus on the academic rather than building the enjoyment and the foundation for a longer sustainable love of reading and learning. Also, I was unaware previously to this, that there was a thriving book market in so many different countries in the Middle East. They're in the UAE, Iran, Turkey, Morocco, Egypt, Lebanon. It kind of just goes on, and these are award-winning books as well. These industries sadly have been kind of shut out from the U.S. market, and this isn't the only, because it's so hard to crack into the U.S. market, that's not the only reason they're not here. Many of the industries are in these countries are working on initiatives in conjunction with certain government sectors to build up different aspects of the industry so that they can perform in the global market alongside the European and American markets. Many of these publishers continue to push beyond what we see here in the United States, and what we know and do. For example, the Tehran Book Garden. Many of these publishers still have titles that have education and religious themes in them in their books, but it's not the sole chunk of their collection anymore. They are expanding the scope of their work and the stories they're telling, and they're trying to reach a broader audience. So for me, what started my project, which started as kind of comparing and contrasting the story books that I would find at Bologna, has turned into kind of a larger picture of kind of an exploding market in a lot of the Middle Eastern countries with books and publishing and moving forward and creating literacy programs and getting books into the hands of kids who need them and trying to create a love of reading and learning. I just hope that as time progresses and these initiatives are developed and go through changes and they continue to grow, that we will begin to see more books, more storybooks from the Middle East being more in the United States in Arabic or being translated. Many of these stories are beautiful, and a lot of them have relevance to issues that we have going on here in the United States. For instance, the one book about the monkey, where is it? This one down here, about the monkey who is given the megaphone, and kind of being a social commentary on kids using phones all the time. That's something that's very relevant. Or kids who have social anxiety, that's another one. So these books are very relevant just because they're written in a different language, and a lot of this doesn't just pertain to books from the Middle East, but kind of from anywhere in the world. They're all written in different languages, yet they have such relevance to what's going on here in the United States. There are certain themes that you can always find in books, and it's such a shame that a lot of times we can't even find those books here. And I think if we can start to integrate those more into our own collection, then we can start to integrate the books that are more unique and more specific to these different countries. Or at least that's my hope.